came over here. My coffee cup's already full. Wasn't planning on doing a live this morning, but ended up having a few minutes, so figured what the heck. Good morning. Good morning. Dano, I'm live. Just keep this in mind with your answer. What's the big difference with the core belts and next belt? Anything major?
They are more durable, they don't graze easily, they have more options for buckles.
All right. Okay, awesome. There we go. Now I'm starting to see some people pop on. So I'm curious, for those of you that are watching right now, did you get a notification that we were going live? It's been an issue. Excuse me. That people don't know we're going live. So I'm just kind of curious. Martin, good morning. So if you don't mind, let me know in the comments that you got a notification or not, if you just happened upon the video. That's cool too. But I'm just curious if the notification stuff's working. So we got a couple of things that we're going to talk about this morning. We got a new product in, core belts. So we're going to take a look at those, and I was already eyeing two different belts that I want and don't need, but I want, and it's okay. So we're going to take a look at those, and we'll talk about some of the pros and cons between those, and because they're very similar to the next belts that we carry as well, which is what I've been wearing for the last couple of years. But Miss Elizabeth, good morning. I was just talking with Dano, and he gave me some of the differences between the core and the next belt. They look very similar, and it's interesting. One of the things that he mentioned that's a plus for the core is an issue that I have with the next belts. Now, mine get used and abused, but we'll talk about that for a brief moment as well. So first thing, let's just go take a look at the belts. And see what they, whoa, hold on. Buttons move around. There we go. So these are the new belts from Core. If you're familiar with the next belts that we've been carrying, these are similar in the fact that they are a ratchet system, and you cut them to length. So they come super huge, and you cut them to fit you. And then if you lose some weight, you can trim some more off of it. No big deal. If you put weight on, well, you guess you're buying another belt. Jeffrey Alley, good morning. So two of them that caught my eye is this guy. I almost have to buy it. This black multicam. It's pretty sharp. $70, so a little bit more expensive than the next belt, and I think that some of these are a little bit cheaper. I think the leather ones are $70, and the regular nylon are $60. So slightly more expensive than the next belts. But if they last longer, that's a plus. But here's the other two that caught my eye: is they have a competition belt. Either one of these could be a competition belt, but a real thick, heavy duty. If you already have Molly and this is your thing, then that would work out great. But it's a Velcro two-piece belt system, which I love. If you have to route a belt through your belt loops and then put a holster on and then route through your belt loop some more and put a mag pouch on, that's kind of a pain in the butt. If you can just throw a belt on over the top, keep everything on it exactly where you want it, that's pretty damn nice. And these are, not inexpensive belts, but I guess I should flip the camera around. 130 bucks. But truthfully, that's a pretty solid price for the two-piece, for getting both the inner and the outer belt. Okay, so if you're newer to competitive shooting and you need something, even one of their standard belts, what I wear every day that I've been wearing for the last couple of years is next belt. Okay, I really like these. Let's see if I can. I don't know if I can do this, but Dan was saying that one of the pluses of the core belt is that they don't fray as much. I've had to replace a couple of them from fraying from carrying every day. That's right where my holster sits, and you know, a little bit of fray isn't a big deal. And I've managed it. You cut it off, you burn it, and it stays for a while. But then after a while, it starts coming apart. These belts are made by a couple of pieces, and it starts coming apart. So supposedly, the core belts, even their nylon ones, will last longer. I don't know. How do they compare to SOE? Man, I tell you what, I love my SOE belts, the EDC belts. They are a little bit of a pain in the butt to put on, and they are thicker. These are easier to put on, not necessarily easier to adjust. I like these because you can cut them to size rather than ordering a specific size. So I still think that the SOE EDC belts are awesome. I have 3 of them. I think I might have a problem. Not as big a problem as some people, but I really like them. They're very stiff, very heavy duty. Is that an absolute necessity to carry your gun? No. For concealed carry? No, probably not. You can, a regular belt will work, and you can tighten it down. They do stretch. They'll stretch over the course of a day, especially if it's hot outside and it's a thinner leather belt. Having something that, I don't know how I can do this, but something that's on you that's a stiffer belt that can be loose on you and still support the weight of the gun, in my opinion, makes it more comfortable. A lot of people, when they look at gun belts and how stiff and rigid they are, they think, well, there's no way that can be comfortable. I find them to be more comfortable because I don't have to tighten the belt so much to do the belt's job of holding my pants up. Okay, with a standard belt, you got to tighten it. Also, with a standard leather belt that has holes in it, you're limited. You're limited to adjustments to wherever those holes are. So one might be a little bit too tight, one might be a little bit too loose. With something like this ratchet system, I wish I had multiple hands here, but I can adjust this. If I take my gun off and I want to tighten it down, I can. If I want to loosen it up because I just ate a big lunch, I can. But you can loosen or tighten it in much smaller increments. Maybe I went on vacation and I ate a little bit too much. So don't cut your belt too short. That's a piece of advice I'll give you. Anyway, those are new. We just put them out yesterday. So come in, check them out. We do still carry the next belt. Again, you can save a few bucks on the next belt. Great product. The other thing that Core gives you is more color choices and that sort of thing, and then different buckles, more buckle styles. The bigger deal for me, I mean, I do really like that multicam black, but really the bigger deal to me will be the durability. So, and time will tell on that. I don't know. That's what they tell us, but we'll see how it goes. Will has one already. He's been wearing one for a couple of years. I asked him about it this morning. He said he really likes it. Dan's got one he's been wearing for a while and really likes it. So I might give it a shot. This one's not on its last leg, but it's getting there. All right. First thing I want to talk about is our upcoming women's self-defense clinic with Gracie Baja right down the street. So this is a women's only hand-to-hand jiu-jitsu focused course. It's $25. It's super inexpensive. Ladies, come out for it. Sign up for it. I'll talk about how to sign up for it in a second. Guys, tell your ladies. Tell them to come out and sign up for it. So the next one we have is on August 30th from 6 to 8. You come wearing comfortable clothing, something you don't mind getting a little sweaty in. Don't show up in a suit and, whatever. Dress. Come in active clothing, and you're going to have a lot of fun. You're going to learn ways to use leverage to your advantage. And you will be able to, this is a clinic, right? So it's going to show you several different moves that you get to practice. This is not a end-all be-all. This shouldn't be the end of your training journey. My hope with all these things all the time is that it sparks interest in you and you sign up and start going to the gym all the time. Whether it's that gym or another gym, and they'll tell you the same thing that night. This is not our class. This is put on by Gracie Baja for us specifically. So it's just our members and our customers that will be there, and it's awesome. It will get you outside your comfort zone for sure. But when we're there, we have, so much laughter, a lot of confusion, brain power being used. You might even get an opportunity to throw me through the air. So if you want to see some pictures of it, you can shoot an email to training@therangeSTL.com. I can send you a link. You can find some on our Facebook page. Truthfully, right now, I don't know if they're on this Facebook page or if they're on our backup Facebook page, but you can find some pictures from previous events. Lots of smiles, and again, there might be a picture of me getting thrown through the air there, which happens almost every event, and it's great. I don't mind. Jim, good freaking morning to you too, sir. So again, this is $25 bucks on the 30th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. It's a fantastic time. If you want to sign up for it, again, this is not our class, okay? So you don't sign up for it on our website. You send us an email, training@therangeSTL.com. Say you're interested in the Women's Self-Defense Clinic at Gracie, and we'll send you a little form to fill out. That form just essentially puts you on a list so that we know how many people. Right now, before we even went public with this, we had 30 ladies sign up through our Lady Sentinel group. So there's only a few more spots left. We can take up to 40. Here's what I'm going to ask of you. You get an email about this as well, but if you sign up, you don't pay for anything until you get there. So as with a lot of things, well, I haven't paid for it, so I'm just not going to show up because something else came up. Please let us know. If you can't make it, maybe there's a wait list and somebody else that didn't think they were going to get to go gets to go. So if something comes up, we understand. Try not to do that. If you're going to sign up for something, try to be there, please. It happens because nobody's paying anything ahead of time, so people will just simply not show. Gordon, good freaking morning, sir. Again, fantastic time. Next thing I want to talk about, picking the right handgun for you. Not the handgun that somebody else thinks you should have, not the handgun that you were told to go buy, but how do you decide what handgun is best for you? This is a complicated topic that we're not going to be able to solve in the next 10, 15 minutes, but my hope is to give you some good ideas and maybe a little bit of backbone to tell somebody, no, that's not the gun for me. Okay? And here's why this comes up, is we recently, just yesterday, I had a lesson with a mother and a daughter, helping them decide what gun to purchase. Previous to that, just earlier this week, we had a group of 3 ladies come in, all who already had their own handguns. And I wasn't down there with them shooting, Liz was, but from what it sounds like, from the interaction I had with them in the classroom before they went to shoot, and then hearing about stuff afterwards, the guns they have, they don't love, right? And that stinks, right? Because they're not inexpensive. You're spending hard-earned, good money on this tool that you think is going to be perfect for you because somebody else told you to. Some website, some Facebook video said if you want the best gun for concealed carry, you should go buy. And that's what they go buy. you're a woman, so you should go buy that. And that's what they go buy. And it's not the best way to buy a gun. Could you get lucky and get something you love? Absolutely. Because all three of these ladies had quality guns, 43X maybe, a 365, and a Smith & Wesson Shield. All quality guns, just brand new shooters. Not the best choice for them. It really just wasn't. They don't love them, and that sucks. So how do you go about that process? Well, first I'm going to say take a class. Take a basic pistol class. We have people ask us all the time, like, "Hey, I've never shot. I don't own a gun yet. Should I come up there and buy a gun before I take the basic pistol class?" No, don't worry about it. Okay, you come to the class. In the class, we'll teach you how to properly hold the gun and see your sights and press the trigger and be safe and all that stuff. But once you know how to actually hold the gun, just so the interweb doesn't blow up, my gun is empty. Okay, just so once you know how to actually hold the gun, instead of getting a goofy grip on it, you'll know what feels good in your hand. Okay, this is how I'm supposed to hold the gun. And you pick up gun A and you say, okay, that one feels pretty good. And then you pick up gun B and you're like, man, this is how I'm supposed to hold the gun, but it does not feel good to me. This thing's poking me, or this thing's rubbing on my knuckle, whatever. Okay, don't like that one. And you pick up gun C and you're like, I kind of like that one too. What's that one? And you write those 2 or 3 or 4 guns down that you liked, and then you go downstairs and you rent them, assuming we have them. We have a very large selection of firearms downstairs. Assuming that you like them, pick the one that you feels the best when you shoot it, because that might not always be the one that felt the best up here. Once you're shooting the gun under recoil, and maybe the grip texture doesn't feel good in your hand, maybe it's too aggressive, and as you were shooting it, it felt like it was tearing your hand up, and you don't like it. That's okay. Maybe a gun has too light of grip texture. One of my students yesterday was shooting my gun. So this is a P365XL with a Wilson Combat grip module. And out of the 6 guns that she shot, she liked this one the best. So she decided that's what I'm going to buy is a 365XL. And right after we finished the lesson, they came upstairs, they're looking at guns. I was like, oh wait, I got to remind them that this is not the factory grip. So I came up and I told them, and I got out a factory one, and she was like, man, the factory grip she didn't like because it didn't have much texture, and she liked the size of this grip over the factory grip. That's important stuff to know, okay? This was a mother and a daughter that I had a lesson with. The mom liked a completely different gun, still small guns, and it was interesting. So we very often will tell people that larger guns, easier to shoot, okay? It's all relative to the size of your hands, though. So we went down there, we had a couple of full-size guns and a couple of big little guns. And what I do when we're trying to decide what gun works best is I'll load all the magazines for them, in this case there were 6 magazines out there. And they get to shoot a couple of rounds, set the gun down, shoot a couple of rounds, set the gun down, and shoot a couple of rounds, just try stuff out. And I'll ask them after they shoot one, how did that one feel? Anything you noticed about it? And I'll make mental notes of what I noticed. For instance, one of the guns they were shooting was a P320. And for the mom, she could not get a good grip on it. The grip was too big for her. Now, there's options for that. There are smaller grip modules and so forth. But when she was shooting it, it was very flippy in her hand because her hands were really small. She couldn't get a good grip on it. And she's like, I don't like it. It just felt too much. And she shot a Shadow Systems MR920. Liked that gun. Definitely more than the P320. We moved on, got to some of the smaller guns. She ended up liking the Shadow CR920 the best. Out of other big small guns were my 365XL and a 365X Macro. The daughter liked this one. But they had the option of trying stuff and having a trainer, in this case me, adjusting their grip to make sure it's in the right spot. Okay? Do you pay a little bit more to do a private lesson to figure that stuff out? Absolutely. But you've got somebody standing there who does this every single day, and they can make sure that when you're building your grip on the gun that it's correct, so you get the best feeling possible out of the gun. The daughter, when she was shooting them, or before she was shooting and just picking the guns up and doing some dry fire, she was certain she was going to like the CR920 better. She liked the way that felt in her hand when we were just holding it and dry firing. When we were shooting, she didn't like it as much. Something about it just felt goofy, and she changed her mind. And she went back and forth between the X Macro, the 365 XL, and that gun a bunch, like 2 rounds, 2 rounds, 2 rounds, 2 rounds, 2 rounds, 2 rounds. And finally she was like, no, I don't like the CR. And then 2 rounds with the 365 XL and 2 rounds with the X Macro. Back and forth a couple of times, and finally she was like, XL's what I want. That's the way to pick out what gun works for you. Kim, I don't remember if I said good morning to you or not, but good morning. Elizabeth says, the recoil feels more substantial without the correct grip. Accuracy suffer, confidence suffers too. Yeah, and so what I tell people all the time, especially at the lower level stuff, is that I really don't care what gun you buy. If you even want to buy a gun, okay? So if you decide you want to buy a gun, I don't care what gun it is. I want you to love it. That's what I want, because I want you to shoot it. I want you to have the confidence with it. I want you to have good results with it. And by the way, the 2 ladies I worked with yesterday were awesome. Mom flinched a little bit and threw some a little bit low left. The daughter was freaking killing it. It was awesome. And then the daughter wouldn't let the mom shoot her target because she didn't want to mess it up. It was perfect. It's great. But yeah, if you shoot something and you're all over the place, maybe because it recoils so much and you just can't stop trying to stop it, right? It's an easy thing to say. When you shoot your gun, all you have to do is press the trigger. That's it. That's not such an easy concept to put into practice, because this thing's smacking in your hand. It's jumping around in your hand. So you try really hard to stop it. That causes frustration, and then you don't want to shoot it. Why would you want to carry something that you don't practice with regularly, that you don't know intimately, inside out, upside down, backwards? Okay. Fred, sorry, hold on a second, Fred. My little warning popped up. There we go. What's the cost of a private lesson? Looking to surprise my wife. So a private lesson is $90 for a 1 hour lesson for one person. If you wanted to do a 2-person lesson, it's $150. Okay, and we can work on whatever you want. The advantage of picking out a gun in a private lesson is that the trainer you're working with can take a tray full of guns out there. I took 6 out with me yesterday. Okay, I can take all of that out. If you come in on your own, which is totally fine. I had an email conversation with a student over the last few days about this, pros and cons. He wanted to come in and rent some stuff, and he's wondering what that process looked like. That's fine. That costs less, $20 for the lane, unless you're a member, and then $10 for gun rental. That gets you up to 5 guns, but you can only take them out one at a time. So you could take that P320 out and shoot 10 or 15 rounds through it, put it down, take it back out to the counter, check out a Glock 17 or whatever else you wanted to try. But you can do them one at a time. That works too. I think there's a big advantage in the gun selection process of being able to have them all laid out right there and pick them up side by side. I like dry fire first. Just, you need to eliminate something right away, you eliminate it. Like, nope. And again, if you're with a trainer, you say, hey, I brought 6 guns out. There's 3 of those that I just don't like, period. Okay, well, I'll take those back and I'll swap them out for something different that's more in line with the 3 that you liked. We can do all that. The other thing to consider is your purpose, right? What do you want the gun for? All right, hold on. Liz says, with no instruction or someone loading your mags, targets included, lanes included too. Yeah. So if you come in for a private lesson, I will usually make you load your own magazines. However, when we're doing the gun selection process, because nobody likes to load mags, okay? But when we're doing a gun selection process, I don't want you worried about my thumbs hurt and I'm getting frustrated by trying to load this magazine. You know, I'm trying to put 10 rounds in a 12-round mag or whatever, and it's getting too tight. So I do that in those kind of lessons. I think most of the trainers probably would, because we want you focused on the tool and what works for you. In other lessons, I'm making you do it. Now, if we're shooting a lot and I want to try to get as many rounds down range and I already know you know how to load magazines, I'll load a mag for you. I don't care. But usually at the beginning level, we make you do it unless it's this gun selection process thing. So yeah, $90, 1 hour. We can take all this stuff out there for you. Your targets are included in that cost. The gun rental's included in that cost. Eyes and ears, if you need them, if you need eye protection, ear protection, we can help you, or we can give you some of our stuff to use. If you come in on your own, we don't do rentals. It's just for students in classes or lessons. So it works out to be very similar in cost. The only additional cost of the lesson is ammo. You know, in the lesson I did yesterday, there was 2 people. We went through about 1.5 boxes of ammo. Not much. So they left after paying for their lesson with a half box of ammo that they could use in whatever else they buy. If you come in on your own, you've got, assuming you're not a member, $20 for the lane fee, $10 for gun rental. Targets are $1.50, and then ammo. So you get a lot for the dollar you're spending. Okay. Now, the upside of coming on your own is you can come in anytime we're open. The downside of the lesson is you have to schedule a time. You can't just walk in. The chance of you catching one of the trainers available on a walk-in is, I won't say 0, but it's really, really low. Right? Definitely best to schedule your time. If you schedule a lesson, A, show up. B, show up on time. If you have a lesson from 11:30 to 12:30 and you show up at 12, your lesson's going to end at 12:30 and you still owe us $90. Because our days are stacked full of stuff to do, which is good, but you got to be on time. Why aren't more? I need to do what the hell's whatever my pissed off Monday thing is, belt fed Phil on Mondays, belt fed Mondays, on punctuality and people. That is definitely a pet peeve of mine. Strange that the 2 other full-time trainers here that I have hired are very, very punctual people. It's actually quite punctual, so punctual that they're super early. That when Elizabeth is late for her early time, she becomes known as Late Liz. She's still here an hour and a half before she's supposed to be, but she's late because she's the last one. Yeah, Liz, you should be here, by the way. Anyway, just saying. All right. So, find the gun. Okay, bottom line. Find the gun that works best for you. Not the gun that you were told you need. Okay? There are lots of good guns out there. I have my preferences. Just because I love something, just because I carry a 365XL, does not mean that you need to. Is it a great gun? Yes. Just because I carry the Shadow Systems MR920L, do you need to? No. Is it a great gun? Absolutely. I think I'm getting ready to buy another one because I like them so much. But that doesn't mean it's going to be perfect for you. Okay? So when you ask your neighbor who's a gun guy, or your cousin, or your uncle, or your aunt, or whatever, that's the gun guy in your family, I want a gun, what should I buy? And they say, well, go buy this. It's the best thing out there. That's not true. That's not true. It might be the best choice for them. They honestly might not even know what the best choice is for them because they haven't gone through the process. So come figure it out for yourself. Don't try to do it on your own if you're brand new. If you've been shooting a while and you're thinking about buying a new gun, there's guns that I have really wanted. Walther PDP is an example. It is something that I really liked up here on the showroom floor, holding it, the all the good press that I've heard about it, I really wanted one. I shot it. I didn't like it. I gave it some more time. I messed with it. I read some more stuff about it. I was pretty set on buying one. I shot it again. I just don't like it. It's a fantastic handgun. Does not work for me at all. I don't like the gun. It feels weird. It feels great in my hand. When I shoot it, it feels strange. And I really don't know why. It's something with the recoil that feels off to me. I don't like it. Fantastic handgun though. Not saying it's a bad gun whatsoever. Are there bad guns out there? Yeah. I mean, there's some that definitely suffer in quality control. The cool thing is, even the bad guns now are better than a lot of the really good guns from 15 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Manufacturing has gotten so good that even the not so great guns are pretty decent. Do some have more problems than others? Sure. Can you alleviate issues that you might have with a gun by sticking with a big brand like SIG or Glock or Smith & Wesson or something? Absolutely. Are there smaller boutique brands that make really good guns? Heck yeah. Are there smaller boutique brands that make crappy guns? Heck yeah. So, are there major manufacturers that make crap guns? Yes. I'll use Remington as an example. Their R51, I think it was called. I just don't understand that gun. It's weird. It felt weird to shoot. It was a pain in the butt to take apart. And it really didn't go anywhere. Major manufacturer, been around a really long time, and they put out that. So, sure. All right. Well, I feel like I've rambled enough. Oh, wait, hold on. Gordon, so Elizabeth says, Gordon, I had a dream last night that we were playing your Home on the Range song over the loudspeaker. Oh, boy. So Liz, she says, at the loudspeaker at the GOA conference this weekend. Liz is going out of town. She gets to go hang out in Knoxville for a few days at the GOA conference. So I am quite jealous. I really would like to go to that conference. I think it'll be a great conference. This is, if you're unfamiliar with GOA, fantastic organization. Become a member, please. Look into and become a member. If you become a member today and you've got nothing going on this weekend and you want to hop in your car and drive to Knoxville and go to their conference, do it. It'll probably be pretty cool. This is their first one. So it might be a little bit of a mess, but you're going to see all sorts of cool people. You'll get to chat, especially if you like the YouTube worlds of gun people. You're going to see a bunch of them there, and you'll get opportunities to chat with them. They're just people, just like you. Maybe not as cool as you. You never know. Miss Elizabeth, good morning. Gordon says, Liz, if you'd sing it, I'd stop invading your dreams. Yeah. So, and yes, Liz says I'm supposed to do karaoke. Yeah, one of the main guys from GOA told Liz she has to come out and do karaoke one night. So, if you do that, Liz, we definitely need video. It will be posted here. Yes. So, make sure that there is video evidence, please. I want to see it. I don't necessarily want to hear it, but I do want to see it. Have fun out there. For you guys, any questions for me? Any questions for Liz? Anything for Liz to look into at GOA, or somebody to go see, or maybe there's a company you've heard is going to be there that's got a new product and you want her to check it out. Let us know. Let us know in the comments. If you have training questions, if you want to sign up for the Gracie Women's Self-Defense Workshop, send an email to training@therangeSTL.com. Any training questions you got, questions about classes, questions about private lessons, questions about how to sign up for the Gracie event, training@therangeSTL.com. Send us an email. If you have general gun questions, hey, do you have this in stock, or can you order this thing, or can I shoot my whatever at your range? Send it either general Facebook message here, or send an email to info@therangeSTL.com, and we'll help you out. That's all I got for you crazy people. If you have anything for me, you've got just a few seconds to get the comment in before I get out of here. If you guys need something, Baldwin Days is coming up. Thanks, Liz. Baldwin Days is coming up this weekend. Friday night, I think. Saturday, Sunday. So we have a booth down there again this year. We'll be down there. We'll be passing out some fun stuff for kids, coloring books and crayons and such. We'll have coupons to give away to people down there. So come down, hang out at Baldwin Days, eat some gross, disgusting, awesome food, get on some rides and throw it all up if you want. Then it's a net positive probably because you had fun even though you threw up. Don't park in our lot to go there though. Can't do that. It's going to be a busy weekend for us. It's going to be a busy weekend at Velasquez Park in Baldwin. Wait, Elizabeth says soft opening today. Huh, interesting. Rides only. Gosh, dang it. Sorry, warning just popped up and I can't read your statement. Let's see. Soft opening today. Rides only. Everything else opens Friday through Sunday. What time on Friday, Elizabeth? Come out and have fun. It's an awesome event. Park, Elizabeth will correct me if I'm wrong, but parking is across the street from us, across Manchester Road at Lowe's. They have shuttles that will run you back and forth if you would like. Okay, that's the best place to park. Big open parking lot. You got a shuttle to take you back and forth. Don't try squeezing in at Wendy's or Our Lot or the gas station or parking in the grass somewhere up here. Go to Lowe's, park, hop the shuttle. You can walk over too if you want. But that's going on this weekend. Come find us. Bring the kids out. We got cool stuff. I think Charles has some. I don't know if we're. I probably shouldn't say nothing because I don't know if we're doing that for this or for Customer Appreciation Day. But we have water guns to give out to kids. Besides parking here for Baldwin Days, if there's anything else you need, come on out 14803 Manchester Road in beautiful Baldwin, Missouri. 10 to 8 Monday through Friday, Saturday 9 to 6, Sunday 10 to 6. Elizabeth says times are 5 p.m. Friday, shuttles at Lowe's and Target. Awesome. So you got two huge parking lots to park in and ride a shuttle. Do that. Much better. If you guys need something, come see us. We're happy to help. You want to shoot your gun? You want to learn how to shoot your gun? We can help whatever you got. You guys have a super awesome day. Stay safe, be nice to one another, and we'll catch you soon. Later. Awkward.